Hey there, Ender here. In this video, I will be showing you some tips and tricks for the Endertainer Rig, specifically with the character presets and what you can do with it. So, without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so the first thing I'm gonna cover is how to change the skin texture. To change the skin texture, first thing I'm gonna do is to select any body part of the rig. Here I'm just gonna select the torso second layer. Then in the properties panel here, you go to the material properties. Here you can see all the settings for the skin material here. And now in this section here, it says skin main.png. We click this to remove the skin that already been used here. Now we can open a new texture here by clicking this. This will open the Blender file browser. And now you can go to where your skin texture is. Here I'll put it on the pictures here. Now just select it and click open image. And there you go. The rig now uses a new skin texture. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that to make the skin texture work with the facial rig, you need to remove all facial features from your skin texture. You can do this by editing the skin texture in software like Photoshop, GIMP, or the latest version of Paint. Alright, next is how to set up SSS or Subsurface Scattering. To do this, let's go to the Shading tab here, and go to the Material here. You can set this up on the Material Properties or in the Shader Editor here. And then we go to the rendered view here so we can see the effect. And here in the subsurface part here or in here, there are a few settings here. We have the weight, radius, and scale. The weight is basically like a switch that enables or disables the subsurface. And you can adjust like the amount of subsurface you want. The radius is you could use this to like adjust the color of the subsurface, and then the scale is how big the subsurface like penetrates to the object. So here let's set this to 0.2. As you can see, it gives a little bit of subsurface here, and if we increase it to 0.5, it gives us even more subsurface. And if we change the radius here, it changes the color here. Now, if you have some trouble adjusting this, you could also just set this to a color input like so. And this should help you adjust the color more easily instead of having to adjust all three settings here. Now, this will enable subsurface to all of the material here. I mean, all that use the same material here. In this case, the skin UV project. If you want the subsurface to only affect a certain part of the object, let's just say you only want it to affect this part right here, you need to create a separate material for this. So I'm gonna just create a new slot, select the skin UV, and then press this to basically make a duplicate of this material. Let's call this SSS. And then in edit mode, we select the part we want, like so, and then click assign. Now this material is assigned to this part. And now if we add subsurface scattering, like so, as you can see, it only affects this part right here that has the subsurface material, while the rest does not. Next is how to disable the facial rig. Now, the Endertainer rig doesn't have any setting for you to disable the facial rig altogether, but there is a workaround for this. So let's me create an outliner here, and then here I'm gonna create another collection. And here I'm gonna take all of the facial meshes here, like the eyebrow, the iris, the head face, head inside, the teeth, the tongue. Take all of that and put it on the new collection we just create. And before that, let's snap the 3 cursor to the head origin like so. Now we can disable this, and we take this and snap it to the 3 cursor. And there you go. Now you can also just delete all of this if you don't really need to, but in case you also want to reuse the facial rig again, it's best to put it on another collection. And there you go. All right. Next is about static transform, which is a technique I use to readjust the rig pose without having to edit the bones and anything else. So in this example right here, let's say that you want to make the eye here always open like this. Now, normally, if you reset all the transform, it will revert back to the default pose like so. So what I like to do is to use a transformation constraint and then set it to an object that doesn't move and then set the map to whatever value you want. That way, the controller will always stay on that position no matter what you do. And it's not permanent because you could just disable the transformation constraint or change the value. So it's a non-destructive way to adjust your pose. So here we have a transformation constraint. Let's set this to the armature here. And then there's actually a hidden bone here inside the internal collection. Here it's called the buff static bone. So go back to this and then we assign this to the static bone like so. And then here I want to set this to 0.03, so I set it on y 0.03. All right, that's not the correct position. Oh wait, I forgot. You need to set this to local space. There you go. I've almost forgot. So if I undo the transformation here, it goes back to the position there, 0.03. And if I disable this, as you can see, it moves. And if I undo our transformation again, Alt or GRS, as you can see, it stays here because of the transformation constraints here. Now, you need to have the bone assigned here. Otherwise, the transformation constraint just won't work. And let's copy this to here as well. And there you go. Now, the last step I want to cover here is about the IK-FK bone override and how to snap from IK to FK or vice versa. So, there's a feature in Endertainer Rig, which is this setting here called the IK-FK bone override. What this does is enable both the IK and FK controller as well as the extras bone here. And if I disable this, the IK and FK bones only change when you change the setting right in the middle like so. And with this setting, you can enable both. Now, there's also these bones right here, the IK control target as well as the pole target. Now, this is what you use when you want to snap the IK to the FK controller. So let's say that right now it's in FK, so I'm gonna pose the FK like so. And then I'm gonna change to IK, and then I'm gonna pose the IK. Now if I switch here, the IK and FK will switch. Now to snap IK to FK, you can use this thing like here. This is called the copy global transform. This is part of the Blender Core add-on. If you don't have this enabled, you can enable it on the preferences here. So copy, there you go. Oh, not that global. Oh, wait. Sorry, I forgot. This is actually being implemented as the main feature if I remember. Let me double check here. Yeah, it's no longer here, so it's part of the main feature if you are in 5.1. Okay, let's continue. So using this tool here, we can copy the position of this controller and then paste it here. As you can see, it's snapped right over there. And then if you use the different pole parent, for example, like you set it to flip bone or something, and you want this to snap here, you could also do the same. So animation, copy the bone position here and then paste it there, and there you go. Now this also applies to the opposite. So let's undo that and also change this back to IK controller. Let's pose the IK like so, and then set this to FK like so. To snap FK to IK, we just copy this bone right here, copy that, and then paste it here, and then copy the forearm here, copy, paste, and then you can also do the wrist if you pose the wrist. So let's say that I pose the IK wrist like so, just copy and paste, and there you go. That's how you snap the controller from IK to FK or FK to IK. And that's about it. Alright, that's the end of the video. Sorry if some part might be confusing or not well explained because, well, I'm not really good at recording. If you really like the video, you could give it a like and maybe even subscribe if you haven't. And yeah, and also you could check my Patreon if you want to support me and want to get some additional content. And that's about it. See you on next video.